Hello everybody, and thank you for coming back to Keep It Real, episode number 43? 43? I think I got it wrong in the last one, you know. Bendercat told me off. Episode 43. Yes, what an episode it was last time round as well. What an episode. We got the most amazing piece of land that we could possibly hope for in this kind of series. It was brilliant. Now, one thing I remember saying is we needed to feed the cows, and oh dear, we do desperately need to feed them as well. They have 13 litres of silage remaining. Not good. So first things first, where did I leave the man? I think I left it down at this one, didn't I? Right, we need to rush. We need to rush a little bit. I accidentally created a hole in the hedge, but hey, this will be our walkway now. Yeah, we need to rush a little bit and get those silage bales into those cows as quick as possible because they can die. And I don't want them to die because they're too expensive. And also, you guarantee the one that does die would probably be the one that's due to give birth to our very first calf. I don't want that. So I'm sprinting, the trigger's on as fast as I can do it. Let's run in front of that van. That'd be alright, plenty of room. Oh yeah, it is there. Thank God for that. Now, let's jump straight on it. Try not to muck around too much. So I do hurt everyone's bow. I underestimated my timing, and I kind of completely forgot. I mean, it's quite bad, really. I shouldn't admit to forgetting, but I did. It is, of course, Easter holidays, which means the children are home. So I'm struggling a bit for recording. I am really struggling, which is why, you know, I've missed out on a roleplay story mode episode. And you know what? I'm not 100% sure if I'm even going to get one done this weekend, to be honest. I'm really not. I've managed to find myself a spare hour now just to get this one done. But yeah, the time involved with creating the roleplay story mode episodes is far more than an hour, plus the editing. It's more like 2 or 3 hours really, so I don't know. I'll do my best, but it may be 2 weekends in a row that I don't get one of those done. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I know if you've been here a long time watching, you know what the deal is. You know how it works. It's the thing when you have kids, isn't it? Anyway, right. The reason I've picked up the mower is because right at the end of the last episode, I remember saying the words, "We need a bigger mower." This one is only leased, but I'm going to have to return it back to the store and get a bigger mower. Now, £197 minus. It's gone down even more since the end of the last episode. I need to find a way of kind of breaking even almost, plus a little bit, so I can afford to pay for a new lease on an ever so slightly bigger mower. So we'll think of something. We'll cross that bridge once we get the cow's bed, because that's what's important at the minute. But I thought, hey, I could save a little bit of time by at least bringing the mower up with me. I am going to return the pallet forks as well, just because they're really sticky. They're quite glitchy, and they're not really much good. So we'll return them, and we'll return the mower. We ain't going to get any money back for these days, so it's not going to solve our problem. But hopefully, we'll think of something else anyway. I probably have got a few eggs. I had to sell 2 or 3. I think it was 4 actually. I think I had to sell 4 of the small hay bales just to get an extra few £100, so I could afford that field at midnight of the last episode. So I could potentially sell a few more hay bales, but that might be the only thing that gets the cows through, to be honest with you, because any food's better than no food. At least their health isn't going to drop to 0. So if I get rid of too many of those bales, we're going to be in a bit of a sticky situation once they've eaten through the silage, which doesn't seem to take them very long, by the way. It really doesn't. Anyway, right, we're making our way down here. Doesn't it feel so much better with all of this being kind of done? Landscaped, it's not finished, but it feels like something now. Right, let's just connect that up. So yeah, I'll use it this last time, but actually going forward, I think... God, I can't even see. I think the manure fork will do a pretty good job. No, I need to do these one at a time because Although I've got the mower on the back, it's not really a lot of weight. Hopefully just in the nick of time. And hopefully it'll accept it there. Will it accept it there? Yes. Good. Because I couldn't really go in any further. The mower's in the way. Right, we'll just do that other one there while we're here. But yeah, going forward, I think, I've said it a few times, when you're kind of small, if you're struggling for money, if you don't have the right tools, you just kind of make whatever you've got work, don't you? So I don't think it's unrealistic to kind of bodge the bales in using the manure spikes. Certainly does the same kind of thing from a game point of view anyway. Brilliant. Now, I didn't connect. Is there a hose for this? PTO probably. Does that fold? Yes. Good. That makes it a little bit easier. Right, we'll keep the pallet forks on. Just because I will drop them off at the shop as well. And I'm just thinking, no, I was going to turn around and go back up the hill, but actually I've actually cleared some space. Look at this. I don't do this very often. Do not do this very often at all. Right, I'm thinking I might just get the small amount of eggs that we have got. Won't be much there, but it's something. And just sell them. Now, let's just see. Have the trees produced any apples? I don't think. No, they weren't due to. These ones definitely not, but they have got plenty of water. These aren't too far off actually. This one and this one must be quite close. Still got loads of water, that's the main thing. And that's still got water as well. So, okay, so it won't be this episode, but probably maybe the next episode, even the episode after that, because these do kind of create apples very slowly. But we will have about £1,000 worth there at some point. So that's good to know. Planning for the future, thinking ahead. So yeah, it is going to be the eggs, isn't it? Don't have a choice. Let's have a look. What are the eggs looking like from a price wise? Not that it makes any difference, it's tough luck. Yeah, they're definitely not at their best price. Definitely not at their worst price. And again, I mean, there's probably only 100 eggs, maybe. Only 100 eggs. Now, in the meantime, what I've done is I've made the male ducks disappear. We'll say that they've disappeared. Say that I've released them into the wild. No, I did. I actually just sold them back in the menu. And I probably gained about £4 all in all for them. But that wasn't why I was doing it. What I was thinking is, this is why I want to get rid of these pallet forks as well, by the way. Look, they are particularly bad. Yeah, that doesn't look very good at all, does it? That doesn't look realistic. Yeah, no, I thought, what is the point in spending all that extra money out on the food to feed the males, which are not actually doing anything? Yeah, not great. Now, realism's sake, I suppose, really, if you were slowly transporting, you'd probably keep them low to the ground, wouldn't you? Not driving with them 8 foot in the air. Right, so we'll just drop these off at whichever sale point wants them, actually. I'm pretty sure there's a sale point nearby to the store. Maybe the restaurant will want these eggs. Where did I sell them last time? I just checked and I didn't actually look, did I? Oh, the same place that has apples will have them. Or the pizzeria. Where is the pizzeria? Let's just highlight that a moment. Where is it? What have we got flashing? Yeah, we're not delivering them down there. That ain't happening. Okay, no problem. Let's just unflash that because it is irritating. There we go. Yeah, I'll drop them off to the kind of local farm store, which is where we pretty much sell everything actually at the minute. And hopefully this is going to break us, break us even. A little bit to spare would be quite nice. Yeah, because we do need a big mower, I think. Getting in and cutting the grass, I think, is the obvious thing to do straight away. I do feel like we just need to get on with that, because the sooner we do that, the sooner it will start growing again. But I do need to get a seeder, and I need to go over the proper grass field, the actual grass field, which is an actual field. Yeah, I need to replant all of the kind of damage that caused to that, really. Part of me's wondering whether or not I also start to plough this other field, but replant it with more grass just for a minute, so we kind of make this silage thing a big operation, because it does generate you decent money, doesn't it? It does generate pretty good money, but there is quite a bit more work involved with it. But then again, at least I've got the equipment to do it, so I don't know. It's a juggling act, isn't it? I think every episode on this series is a juggling act. Now, yeah, £245 we created, which is good. £38 positive is what we have. Now, sticking by the kind of standard rules, we've got to go to the shop to start browsing through the shop. Of course, that's just one of those little keep it real rules. I just want to have a look and see. I'll park at an angle so I'm not blocking the roadway. I've activated a new mower. I downloaded it. I've never downloaded it before. It's only a standard in-game one. But I just want to see. I'll tell you what, let's have a look in the used shop actually before I get too carried away. It'd be nice to have something like that, wouldn't it? That would be really nice. Right, what else do we actually have here? A silage pallet. Oh no, yeah, but that's 5,000 litres of silage. Right, I said I'm only going to use anything from that supply pack mod to feed the ducks, not to feed the cows. So ignore that. That's cheating. I don't want to do that. So there's nothing here even affordable. Not at all. A mulcher, potentially, that could be handy, but I think that's one of those orchard type ones, isn't it? Right, anyway. So the mower, which we will get, is actually this one. So it's about double the size of the one that we've got. It's not massive, but it requires a low horsepower. But it is 6,500 buy. What is it to lease? It won't tell me what it is to lease because I don't have enough money to lease it. Well, that answers the question as to whether or not I could lease it anyway. It's a bit annoying. I just want to know how much it is. Yeah, so £2,600. There is also the option of this one, which potentially, if that came up in the used shop, we would buy that maybe, because you can change it. If you own it, you can change it to a mulcher, and I think that is something that in this kind of series where you need to maximize and kind of make as much money as possible from your fields. Once we get into things like actual grain fields and crop fields, we probably do need to be mulching just to get that extra, what is it, 5%? I think it's 5%. So this is what we have currently, 1.7 meters. It's quite small. This one is 2.6. It's an additional meter wide. Probably is a good option to go for. But how? How am I going to make some money in the meantime? What I might as well do though, seeing as I'm here. A little part of me is thinking, maybe don't go too crazy. Maybe keep the mower just a little bit longer. But I can definitely return the pallet fork because we just don't need it. Yeah, so I'm going to return that either way. And I'll do it the proper way. If I can find the trigger. Which I can't. Alright, let's just get rid of it through the menu. But at least I've kind of done the actions of bringing it down here. Now, what is it? A front loader tool? It will be. So, pallet forks, we're just going to return it. Again, we don't get any money for it. We're just saving some bills. Now, it would be rude not to, wouldn't it? See if I can do a bit better than the front four. Let's go with more of a... Dear. I was about to say, let's go with more of a throw, and then I dropped it. Is this going to work? How's this? I mean, that's borderline, not bowling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I reckon that's the record, but maybe there's kind of a disqualification for cheating. Because I didn't really bowl it. Don't know. Right, let's... got that over there as well, haven't we? Forget about that. And what's that little thing? Oh, that's the weight. So I always forget. Always forget what I'm leaving lying around. Because I don't like to go into that map view too often. Yeah. I forget what I've done. Now I just think, seeing as we're nearly here, let's just go and have a look at that new field. A new day, brighter light. Just do a little bit of mowing while we're here. But let's just have a look at it. The field which is actually officially ours. So whilst I'm making this short drive, yeah, it seems to be long because it's so bloody slow. I do hope everyone is well. I've been watching a series on Paramount Plus, which is the Halo series. So a lot of you might have heard of it. But, you know, I used to love the Halo games. I used to love them. And the series, I think, is actually alright. I think the series is quite good. Now, we've lowered it down. Can we unfold it? I might as well do a bit of culling around the outside whilst I'm talking. Oh no. Okay. Sometimes this happens, doesn't it? And this is one of the things I needed to check actually. Would it actually produce grass? No, it doesn't. It doesn't produce any grass at all. And that's because it's just base game meadow grass, isn't it? Yeah. Right. So let's lift that up. Fold it back up. Right, waste of time. Might as well not even bother doing that. Might as well just get straight into ploughing it, I reckon. I'm going to leave the tree there for characteristics. And I don't think that kind of tree is worth that much money anyway. Right, let's head on back to the second yard. So yeah, anyway, going back. I'm really, really enjoying it. The Halo series. I used to love playing those games. Right back. Oh, wrong side. Right back to the original. What was it? Before Xbox 360, in fact, wasn't it? The very first Halo. Just on the original Xbox. It's not aged too bad either, you know, that game. If you go back and look at that game, graphics-wise, it's not anything like modern day, but it's not aged that badly. It still looks playable. It does definitely look playable. And watching this series, even though the series is probably based a little bit before that first game, does make me want to go back and play them all. A little part of me is thinking, I wonder if I work them out in actual age order rather than release order. And play through. I'm tempted. I'm tempted. And I believe, I don't know, are all of the Halo games co-op? Online co-op? I think that would be quite cool. And like a Halo playthrough co-op with other people online. Anyone who's watching who fancies that, I reckon that would be quite a good laugh. May not necessarily be something I even record, but certainly be a good thing to do once in a while, just to keep your brain alive, I think. But yeah, anyway, if you've not watched it, check it out. I really like it. The first, as always, with any series, you know, I always find the first episode doesn't always do it for you. You know, a lot of series you have to get to like the second episode or the third episode to actually kind of feel like it's worth your time watching. And yeah, the first episode doesn't blow you away really. So I know a lot of people who've watched the first episode and thought, nah, it's not for them. But I stuck with it. I thought, no, I'm going to keep watching it. I watched the first 2 or 3 all in one go, just after I put the kids to bed, and when I couldn't get on to do a bit of recording on this. Let's give that a little go, and it is worth it. Get past the first episode, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's got hints of the actual game on it as well, actually. Now, I don't know why. This is my problem with keeping it real, right? Not using the minimap to find too many things. Oh, it is there. Good. Yeah, just kind of trying to go by memory, and I forget where things are. And as soon as I pulled up then, I got a bit nervous that actually the plough was at the other yard. But it's not, it's there. So, I don't look as silly as I thought. Right, let's disconnect this for a minute. It'll just have to live here. Obviously, having this here is absolutely no good at all. It needs to be at the other yard. But I also noticed, look, the fuel. I don't feel like it was that long ago I filled this up to the brim, but yeah, this is getting quite low on fuel. I wonder how. Okay, do you know what? Let's pull this over a little bit. I wonder how the agri will get on ploughing, because we've not actually used it to do any ploughing, I don't think. So let's do that, and I know that the agri has got a full tank of fuel at least. Or nearly. Nearly. There is a small chance though it's going to break down. Let's just start doing a little bit of ploughing with the agri. And hopefully while I'm doing it, while there's a bit of music playing in the background, I'll have a sudden brainwave of how I'm actually going to make a little bit more money this episode. Now, I didn't plan this too well, did I? There we go. Oh dear. Climb over the wall again. There we go. I did it. Right. Yeah, I don't know. I need to lift that up. I need to think of something. I now don't have silage bales I can sell because they just needed them. I'm not going to have tomatoes for probably the next 2 episodes. In actual fact, I've just said tomatoes by mistake and I meant apples, but is it snowing? Oh dear. Brilliant. Well, hopefully it still lets you plough. Yeah. It was suggested in the comments, and thank you very much. And you know, this is a spur of the moment recording, so I can't remember who said it. But these don't share. I think it might have been Farm Sim Tim, who actually looked at the like the XMLs for me. But these do not share. Where's the trigger? There we go. They do not share production. So, for example, when I said, well, I might as well just turn them all on. So like that would do 360 cycles a month. That would do 360. That would do 3. They don't. They actually, if you have 2 of them, they do half the amount each. If you have 3 of them, they do a third of the amount each. So there's no benefit at all to having these on. So I think I'm going to deactivate them and just really, really push the tomatoes. Yeah. Yeah, that, I mean, in all fairness, it's probably a bit cheeky because you're only using the same amount of beds anyway, regardless. So me trying to produce all 3 to get triple the amount was probably unrealistic. And again, you probably wouldn't mix up too much of the product in the same bed anyway. The way that the animation shows it, you'd probably have a bed of each type, wouldn't you? Can't imagine you'd have lettuce growing in the same thing as tomatoes. Right. Yeah, I just needed to do that. I suddenly remembered it. Better clean that up at some point as well, didn't I? Okay. We probably have, going by that kind of rain rule, we probably have got water, so we will need to fill the apple trees at some point, and maybe, just to keep some of you happy, I could clean some equipment. Could doesn't mean I will, but I could do. But yeah, does the same rule apply to snow? I mean, in theory, you could catch the snow, it melts into water. Don't know. If it's snowing, does that also give us water? Not sure. Right, let's head to... How many eggs are there? 6 eggs. Oh, that's tricking me then. That looks like a lot more than 6 eggs, doesn't it? Oh, I got excited then. Right. Let's go have a look at our new field again. 2nd time lucky so far. What's going to be the 3rd problem? Okay, so... Yeah, do you know, I really didn't think I'd be ploughing. I did not think I'd be ploughing so soon, not at all. But, what can I do? Right, let's go activate the field maker, there we go. Oh, I did that. Did that without even looking at the menu, I'm impressed. Oh, I forget this is the jumpy plough. And it's also, I don't know, I want to say the man's even faster than this. This isn't doing a very good job at all. Maybe we need to forget the mower, we need a bigger plough. one disadvantage of a very small plough is very small progress. This is taking quite a while. Yeah, and what I don't want to do is time lapse a whole entire episode on just ploughing, because that would be pretty boring. But at least I've got like a feel for how big the field is, and I'll tell you what, it is massive. Imagine if this was planted with crops. Yeah, this would be a decent harvest, you know. This would be a decent harvest. I guess the question is, do I want to do that? Do I really want to do that? Because that will mean leasing a harvester. We've probably got the trailer for it. Yeah, we'll just convert the trailer back to a different type. But do I have the money to lease a harvester when it comes to it? I don't know. We are back to, wow, you can tell in the top corner we got £25 to our name. We are very, very quickly back to absolutely struggling with money. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if planting grain, doing some real farming and harvesting some product is the right thing to do. Or whether I should just be thinking replant it with grass, really, really maximise on some profits from silage. I'm not sure. I mean, to be honest, the whole reason for me doing the silage was because I wanted to feed the cows. I wanted this series, this farm, to be self-sustainable. Really, the silage wasn't there to make and break the series, and that's kind of almost turned the series into a silage series. That was never really my intention. It is there just for the cows. So I would probably like to get into some real farming, actually. I think maybe that is probably the way that I go. But I don't know. You have to see. The beauty with this series is you just play it by ear. Nothing's really planned out. Not at all. Every time I load out, every time I start recording, I don't actually know what I'm going to do in an episode. You just kind of, every bridge is crossed when we get to it. So I don't know yet. I don't know the way that we're going to go. But I do know this is going to take some time. Definitely. Especially with the bouncy plough. It seems to work sometimes properly, sometimes not. It is a bit of a pain. Anyway, I think what I will do in this episode, though, for definite, is put down the interactive production, the kind of business venture I've mentioned a few times. So that's the whole reason we're growing the apples, the whole reason we bought that car, just so that we can kind of transport over some interactive productions. Definitely. So I'll probably build that in this episode, I reckon. I think I've got a good little plot of land. I want it to look like a factory, so I'm going to build it in with some of the other sell points, actually, so it kind of looks realistic. And again, it's not going to be anything that we actually own. We'll just make a little bit of, well, 50% of money that's made through that we keep. The other 50% will go to the kind of digital business owner. I think that's a good plan. I think it's a nice new little touch, which again, I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but I've not seen it. Now, that wasn't me, by the way. It's struggling more and more as it's going. This poor agri. I've got to do something to start making some money. I got to do something, because this is not good. This is not good. I tell you what, actually, just while I'm here, let's turn off the engine, save the fuel. It's almost like whenever you make big purchases, it works as collateral. Because when you go into the loan section here now, look, before I couldn't really loan a lot of money. I'd almost maxed out the loan. But because I've now bought a field, which is probably worth a lot more than we paid for it, now when I take out a loan, I can take out nearly £24,000. So I do feel like the way that this advanced loan system works, it does work on kind of collateral. The more you own, the more you have, the more it seems to offer you. Now the interest rate though, 3.9%, that's kind of increased as well. It does vary a lot, so yeah, it seems to be going up at the minute. I don't know what the lowest interest rate is, mind. But we definitely have that as an option. Now, I don't know. What are we on now? About 20 minutes, maybe, of this episode? And I've not achieved a lot, but actually I've achieved a massive amount, haven't I? It's one of those weird episodes. But this is going to take a while, but at least we've got... Let's go try and get some high ground, and we've got a good idea of just how big this field is going to be. I don't know how a harvest is going to cope with that big bump there, though. Again, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, this is a big old field, you know. This really is a big field. So what do? Do I get into some kind of crop farming, lease out harvester, and start kind of growing some product? Or do I replant it with grass and just kind of go hardcore with the silage? Don't know. Silage would always be a part of the series because that is the cow food, but do I want it to be the whole entire series? Just silage? I'm not sure. I'd like to maybe do a bit more. But anyway, right, at this point, I am going to probably jump it into a time lapse and create the factory. Our new business venture. I do always like to end an episode with a bit of landscaping, so that's what we'll do. So I will catch you shortly. Okay, there we go. So, the factory, the interactive production is built. Now, I was wrong, a little bit wrong. It's not ketchup production I was planning on making. It's tomato juice. Yeah, the ketchup production requires sugar. And yeah, we are potentially quite a way away from being able to produce sugar. But no, tomato juice. So, it requires some, well, mineral water, I think, or spring water, which you actually have to buy from the shop. So it's going to require some journeys to the shop to get the mineral water, take it down to that production. And then, obviously, it requires tomatoes, which is what we're growing. It's what we're currently growing. Now, I've left the tractor down at the field. 2 reasons. One is it needs to be there. It's something that we're going to have to continue to do anyway. There's no way I want to get that ploughing done in one session, not with that little plough. But also, secondly, I'm afraid that it's going to break down if I try and drive it back home, back to the main yard. So I'm just going for a little stroll. I was tempted to phone the taxi, but you will notice actually in the very top corner, the amount of money that we have, I will reset it because I've added a little bit just so I can build that factory. So, oh, what's going on here? Set money. Good. Let's put it back to times 10, pressing the wrong buttons here. Yeah. Our actual money is £25, and I thought it probably costs us more than that to get a taxi, wouldn't it? Yeah. So we're just going to go for a walk, but what I'm going to do is grab the car, the old rust bucket, drive down to the new factory, and just show you what I've done, really. I mean, you've probably seen it in the time lapse. It was only short and sweet. I didn't really put that much effort into it, to be honest, but it's always nice to see things in person, isn't it? See just how well or how badly I did. Okay, anyway, let's stroll on back to the yard. Right, here we are, into the car. I've not used this in this episode so far. Oh dear, It is awful. I tell you what though, it does make me think maybe I should have a little exit straight ahead there, look, and I could actually drive straight through, couldn't I? That might be quite helpful. Wonder if I have to get planning permission for that. I don't know. Anyway, let's head on down to this factory. It's quite far away. I've done that on purpose. I don't want this to be easy. As you know, anyone who's kind of got this far into this series by watching the rest of them, I don't like to do things that are easy. In fact, I do most things to make them as hard as possible. Yeah. So, we have got a bit of a drive. In fact, the complete opposite side of the map. Do you know, I don't even know how to work these productions. I've never used them before. I've toyed with the idea of putting this kind of production into many series, but I've never actually done it. So this is all learning for me, but I feel it's going to be a good investment. Now, we've been here before, of course, a very long time ago, but this is where we're going. So I always like to get that experience of actually driving in and seeing it. So yeah, this is all here, this is all part of the map, and I always look for a point in a map that isn't a field, because that's, even though I don't own the land, that's not going to kind of change now, that will stay like that. So here we are. This is the production. I've thrown it the odd little bit of decoration around just to make it look a bit more realistic. But this is our new business venture. So again, I don't own that. It's not mine. But I think it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be a real nice touch. So, tomato juice. Let's have a look inside. It looks cool, doesn't it? I have no idea what you do. No idea. But that's alright. It looks good. I'll turn the interactive zone markers on in a moment, just to see. Right, around here. Again, I'm assuming that's just, yeah, it's another entrance way into there. And I didn't do a lot around here, to be honest with you. I just wanted it to look like it wasn't kind of impeding in this other bit of land in there. So that's cool. So it's, in terms of placing it, it's placed pretty well. It doesn't look too bad. In terms of using it, I don't know. Maybe the interactive zone markers will give me a bit more of a clue. There we go. So, right. I think everything's by hand, so you kind of bring up by hand your pallets of tomatoes, dump them here, maybe they'll kind of animate into the rack. This must be where the actual juice making is happening. And let's have a look at that. Wow, cycles per month, 1,440 per month. 10.2 tomatoes to 3.9 litres of water make you 5.8 litres of tomato juice. Okay. Yeah, it's expensive. Production costs per month. Let's make sure that's turned off, because that's gonna charge us for that. £192. What's tomato juice worth? Should we have a look? It's gonna be right at the bottom, I'm guessing, with it being kind of an added in thing. Right, where is it? Tomato juice, no selling points. Okay, I'll have to fix that. That's the other half of the landscaping that you have to do. Somewhere that will actually buy the tomato juice. Yeah, that's annoying. I can't even tell you how much it is. But I think that's going to be a good venture. I'm assuming this must be where you collect from. Who knows? Who knows? I'm excited. Once we've got our first lot of tomatoes grown, it'll be quite good to see. It will be pretty good. Anyway, I think that's it for now. I got to cruise back. Look, it's getting dark. It's January. The snow's getting heavier. Well, there we go. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. So, episode 43. Thank you very much for watching. If you got this far, I really do appreciate it, as always. And until the next episode, I guess, which will be, well, more ploughing. I don't know what else it'll be. Just more ploughing. But anyway, until then, thank you very much. And I'll see you soon. Cheers and gone.